Most people grow up believing that intelligence is a weapon you should display. School rewards it, conversations reward it. Society applauds the person who answers quickly, explains everything, proves they are the smartest voice in the room. But power, real power, operates by a completely different rule. If you are smarter than most people around you, the last thing you should do is reveal it. Because intelligence displayed openly does not inspire admiration, it provokes threat. And the human mind, despite all its claims of civilization, is still governed by ancient instincts, hierarchy instincts, dominance instincts, tribal survival instincts. When people sense someone intellectually superior, something primitive awakens inside them. Not curiosity, not respect, competition, resentment, suspicion. You see, intelligence changes the invisible balance of power in any group. The moment people feel that someone understands more than they do, predicts more than they do, sees patterns they cannot see, a silent calculation begins. Where do I stand compared to this person? Am I above them or beneath them? Most individuals cannot tolerate the second answer, so they respond the only way insecure minds know how. They attempt to cut the tall tree down. They challenge you, they undermine you, they test you. Sometimes they attack you directly. More often, they do it quietly, subtly, through sarcasm, through dismissal, through exclusion. History repeats this pattern endlessly. The individual who exposes their intelligence too early becomes a target. Because intelligence is not just knowledge, it is potential dominance, and humans are extremely sensitive to dominance signals. This is why the wisest strategists throughout history mastered a strange discipline. They concealed their sharpness. They spoke less than they knew. They allowed others to feel comfortable in their own importance, not because they were weak, because they understood the game. Machiavelli observed something most people never notice. People fear what they cannot control, and they attack what they fear. If you openly display that you think faster than everyone around you, you create an enemy in every insecure mind present. And insecure minds are everywhere. In the workplace, in friendships, in families, in leadership structures. Especially in leadership structures. A boss who feels intellectually inferior to a subordinate does not reward that subordinate. They eliminate them, quietly, politely, strategically. The world likes intelligence in theory, but in practice, people prefer predictable minds they can dominate, not silent observers who might outmaneuver them. So the true strategist adopts a very different posture. Calm, measured, observant. You do not rush to prove your intelligence. You let people underestimate it. Underestimation is not a disadvantage, it is camouflage. Predators in nature do not announce their presence. They blend into the environment. They study movement. They wait for patterns to reveal themselves. And the moment they strike, it is already too late. The same principle governs social power. The person who speaks the most is rarely the one in control. The one who observes the most often is. Think about the last time you met someone who constantly needed to prove how smart they were, correcting others, explaining everything, winning every argument. What did people around them feel? Admiration or irritation? Most people felt irritation because overt intelligence exposes the ignorance of others, and the ego defends itself aggressively against that exposure. But the quiet mind, the one that listens, the one that asks simple questions, the one that occasionally offers a precise observation, that person is perceived very differently. They are underestimated, they are trusted, they are allowed access to conversations and decisions that the loud genius is excluded from. And access is power. Understanding this requires abandoning one of the biggest illusions society teaches you, the illusion that recognition equals influence. It doesn't. Recognition often destroys influence, because once people label you as the smartest one, they begin resisting you automatically. But the individual whose intelligence reveals itself slowly, subtly, unpredictably, that person becomes something far more dangerous. They become impossible to read, and unpredictability creates psychological dominance. So let me ask you something directly. When you enter a room full of people, are you trying to prove your intelligence, or are you studying the hierarchy? Are you showing your cards or quietly learning everyone else's? Very few people are disciplined enough to choose the second path. But those who do begin to notice something fascinating. The less they try to prove their intelligence, the more influence they gain. Now, I want to see who is truly paying attention. If you understand why hiding your intelligence is often the smarter move, comment this below: I move in silence. Because the individuals who grasp this principle early rarely remain ordinary. And what we're about to discuss next will make this strategy even more unsettling. The moment you stop trying to prove your intelligence, something strange begins to happen. People start revealing themselves. This is one of the quiet advantages of restraint. When you speak less, others speak more. When you resist the urge to demonstrate superiority, others relax their defenses. They assume you are harmless, predictable, manageable. And the human mind, when it feels safe, begins to leak information. Ambitions slip out, insecurities surface, hidden rivalries become visible. Weaknesses reveal themselves through tone, through posture, through careless words spoken in moments of comfort. Most people never notice these signals because they are too busy performing, too busy proving, too busy competing in conversations that have no real reward. But the silent observer collects something far more valuable than intellectual victories. They collect leverage. Because knowledge about people, real knowledge about their fears, their pride, their fragile identities, is far more powerful than abstract intelligence. Understanding this changes how you behave in every social environment. You begin to realize that conversations are not debates, they are diagnostic tools. Every sentence someone speaks is a small confession about how their mind works, about what threatens them, about what motivates them, about where they sit in the invisible hierarchy of confidence and insecurity. And once you see this, you cannot unsee it. The loudest voice in the room is often the most fragile ego. The person who interrupts constantly usually fears being overlooked. The one who mocks others is often protecting a hidden insecurity. People reveal their inner architecture through behavior, but only the quiet mind can observe it clearly. Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature. People judge intelligence not by depth, but by comparison. If your intelligence makes them feel small, they will resent you. If your intelligence makes them feel safe, they will support you. This is why the most effective strategists rarely dominate conversations. They guide them. A small question here, a subtle comment there, just enough intelligence to shape the direction, never enough to trigger defensive egos. Think about how predators operate in nature. The wolf does not charge into a herd screaming its strength. It circles, it studies, it identifies the nervous ones, the distracted ones, the ones separated from the group. Only after understanding the structure of the herd does it move. Humans operate the same way. Every workplace, every social circle, every organization is a herd with its own structure. There are dominant figures protecting their authority. There are followers protecting their belonging. There are insecure competitors trying to climb. And then, occasionally, there is the observer, the one person who appears calm while everyone else competes for attention. That person becomes invisible in a very useful way, not ignored, unthreatening, and that illusion is incredibly powerful. Because the moment people stop seeing you as a competitor, they stop guarding themselves around you. They reveal their strategies, they reveal their alliances, They reveal their weaknesses. You begin to see who envies whom, who distrusts whom, who fears losing status, who secretly wants power but lacks the courage to claim it. This information changes everything. Now you are no longer reacting to people, you are predicting them, and prediction is the beginning of control. Here is the irony most people never grasp. The person desperately trying to appear intelligent is usually the easiest to manipulate. Why? Because their ego is exposed. Give them an opportunity to prove themselves, and they will walk directly into traps. Flatter their intellect, and they will reveal their plans. Challenge their pride, and they will overreact emotionally. Their need to be recognized is their leash. But the person who hides their intelligence, that person cannot be easily manipulated, because their ego is not on display. Their thoughts are not fully visible. Their intentions remain unclear, and unclear individuals create psychological tension in others. Humans dislike uncertainty. They try to resolve it by studying you, guessing about you, projecting their own assumptions onto you, and during that process, they expose even more of themselves. So again, ask yourself something honestly. When you speak in conversations, are you trying to impress people, or are you studying them? Are you revealing your thinking or collecting information about theirs? Most people answer incorrectly without realizing it, because their ego demands expression, but the disciplined mind knows that expression is expensive. Information once revealed cannot be taken back. Silence, however, compounds. It gathers insight. It builds psychological advantage. And those who master this restraint begin to notice a shift in how others treat them. People start asking for their opinion more often, not because they speak the most, but because when they do speak, it carries weight. Now, I want to ask you something. Be honest. In your daily life, are you the one talking the most in the room, or the one watching everything unfold? There are two types of minds in every social structure: the performers and the strategists. If you recognize which side you're on, comment this below. I observe before I act. Because what we're about to uncover next will reveal why the smartest individuals throughout history deliberately allowed others to believe they were less intelligent than they truly were. And once you see the advantage in that, you will never approach social power the same way.
There is a moment in every hierarchy when intelligence becomes dangerous. Not dangerous for others, dangerous for you. Because the instant people realize that you consistently see further than they do, their behavior toward you changes. At first, it is subtle. A slight tension when you speak, a pause before they respond, a strange defensiveness when you point out something obvious. Then slowly, something darker appears. They begin to test you, not intellectually, socially. Humans protect their position in the hierarchy with incredible sensitivity. A person may tolerate someone wealthier than them, stronger than them, even more attractive than them. But intellectual superiority is different. Why? Because intelligence implies future power. Someone who thinks better today may lead tomorrow. Someone who predicts outcomes accurately today may eventually control decisions. And the moment people sense that possibility, they begin preparing defenses. This is why history is filled with a strange pattern. The brilliant individual who speaks too freely often becomes isolated, not because they are wrong, because they are threatening. Think carefully about this. In most organizations, the people at the top did not rise purely because they were the smartest. Many are competent, some are impressive, but almost all of them share one crucial trait. They protect their authority. And authority becomes fragile when someone beneath them demonstrates superior insight. If you openly reveal that you understand systems better than the person who controls the system, you create an invisible conflict. Even if you never challenge them directly, your presence alone becomes uncomfortable. So they begin subtle countermeasures. They stop sharing certain information with you. They exclude you from certain discussions. They frame your ideas as interesting but unrealistic. Or worse, they take your ideas and present them as their own. This is not personal, it is structural. Human hierarchies operate like ecosystems, and ecosystems eliminate elements that threaten the balance of power. This is why Machiavelli warned repeatedly about one of the most dangerous mistakes an intelligent person can make: outshining the ruler. It does not matter whether the ruler is a king, a boss, a team leader, or the dominant personality in a group. If you publicly demonstrate greater intelligence than the authority above you, you activate their survival instincts, and survival instincts are ruthless. But here is the paradox that separates naive intelligence from strategic intelligence. The naive mind believes recognition equals advancement. If they see how capable I am, they will reward me. The strategic mind understands something colder. Visibility invites resistance. Because once people identify you as a threat, they begin organizing against you, sometimes openly, often quietly. Whispers begin, labels appear: difficult, arrogant, too opinionated. These labels are not random, they are social weapons used to reduce your influence. The system protects itself, but the quiet strategist avoids triggering this defense. They allow superiors to feel secure. They present ideas carefully, sometimes even letting others take credit. To the ego-driven mind, this feels humiliating. To the strategist, it is simply positioning, because power is not about applause, it is about control over outcomes. And outcomes often belong to the person who appears least threatening, while quietly shaping events behind the scenes. Now look closely at powerful individuals who have survived for decades within complex systems. Many of them mastered this discipline early. They knew when to speak. They knew when to disappear. They knew when to allow others to believe the victory was theirs. And while everyone celebrated the visible figure, the real strategist was already preparing the next move. Now here is where the lesson becomes uncomfortable, because hiding intelligence requires something most people lack: ego discipline. You must tolerate being underestimated. You must allow people to think they understand you when they do not. You must resist the urge to correct every mistake, win every debate, or demonstrate every insight. And for many intelligent people, that restraint feels unbearable. Their mind moves fast. They see errors instantly. They see flawed logic everywhere. So they react, they explain, they correct, and in doing so, they expose themselves. The strategist does something very different. They observe the error. They study who benefits from it. They ask themselves a far more powerful question: is revealing this truth useful or merely satisfying? Because satisfaction is cheap, advantage is rare. Now think about your own behavior. When someone notices making a mistake, do you immediately correct them? When someone says something inaccurate, do you feel the urge to prove them wrong? That urge is the ego demanding recognition, but the disciplined mind pauses. It calculates. Not every truth needs to be spoken. Not every mistake needs to be corrected. Sometimes silence allows events to unfold in ways that reveal far more valuable information. So ask yourself something honestly. Are you intelligent enough to see the truth, but also disciplined enough to hide it? Because those who master both abilities become extremely difficult to defeat. Now I want to know something about you. When people underestimate you, how do you react? Do you rush to prove them wrong, or do you let them keep believing the illusion? If you understand the advantage of being underestimated, comment this below: underestimation is my advantage. Because the final principle we're about to explore is the one that separates intelligent individuals from true strategists. And once you understand it, you will realize why the most dangerous minds in history often appeared ordinary.
There is a final transformation that occurs when someone truly understands this principle. At first, hiding your intelligence feels unnatural. Your mind is active, your thoughts move quickly, you see patterns others miss, flaws others ignore, outcomes others never anticipate. So the instinct is to reveal it, to speak, to explain, to correct. But once you begin practicing restraint, something deeper starts to develop. You begin to realize that intelligence is not your greatest weapon. Perception is. Human beings do not respond to reality. They respond to the version of reality their mind constructs. That includes the version of you they believe exists. If people believe you are predictable, they behave differently around you. If they believe you are harmless, they lower their guard. If they believe you are average, they stop competing with you. And that creates the perfect psychological blind spot, because the most powerful position in any hierarchy is not the top, it is the position nobody is watching. History quietly rewards individuals who understand this. The strategist who speaks rarely but precisely, the observer who sees rivalries before they explode, the mind that notices shifts in power before anyone else feels them. These individuals move differently. They do not rush toward attention. They do not crave validation. They do not waste energy on intellectual exhibitions that impress people for 5 seconds and create enemies for 5 years. Instead, they cultivate something far more dangerous: strategic invisibility. Strategic invisibility does not mean weakness. It means control over how much of yourself the world is allowed to see. Some days you reveal competence. Other days you reveal patience. Sometimes you reveal nothing at all, and that inconsistency creates uncertainty in others. They cannot easily categorize you. They cannot predict you. They cannot confidently measure you against themselves. And the human mind struggles deeply with individuals it cannot categorize. Because once someone can categorize you, they can control their reaction to you. But when someone remains slightly unclear, slightly unpredictable, slightly beyond easy definition, people become cautious around them. Respect begins to form in quiet ways. Not loud admiration, something colder, something more durable: wariness. Now, here is the strange part most people misunderstand. This discipline does not mean you never reveal intelligence. It means you choose when to reveal it. Timing transforms intelligence into power. Imagine someone who appears quiet for months, observant, reserved, calm. Then one day, in a critical moment, they speak, and their observation cuts directly to the heart of the problem: precise, unavoidable, correct. The room goes silent. Why? Because intelligence that appears suddenly carries more weight than intelligence that speaks constantly. Scarcity creates authority. This is the same principle that governs powerful leaders, negotiators, and strategists across history. They do not flood the room with their thinking. They release it selectively. Each word feels deliberate. Each insight feels earned, and people begin paying attention. Now, think about the opposite: the individual who constantly proves how smart they are, explaining everything, correcting everyone, arguing every detail. Their intelligence becomes noise, predictable, expected, and eventually ignored. Because the mind adapts quickly to repeated signals, but it never fully adapts to controlled unpredictability. This is why Machiavellian thinkers mastered something most people never attempt. They separated identity from perception. Who they truly were remained hidden. What others believed about them was carefully managed, and that gap between reality and perception created their advantage. Now, the uncomfortable question returns to you. How often do you expose your full mind to people who have not earned that access? How often do you reveal your thinking simply because your ego wants recognition? And how often do you stay silent even when you see more than everyone else in the room. The individuals who truly grasp this principle form a very small minority. They understand that intelligence alone does not create power. Control over perception does. And once someone learns to manage perception, the social world begins to behave very differently around them. Before we finish, I want to see who actually absorbed this lesson. If you've realized that revealing less can make you far more powerful, comment this below. I choose what the world sees. Because the people who understand that sentence are already thinking differently than most. And now I want to leave you with one final challenge. After hearing all of this, what is one belief, one habit, or one reaction you will change about how you reveal your intelligence around others? Write it in the comments. The individuals who answer that question seriously are usually the ones who stop playing the obvious game and start playing the real one.